Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are going to talk about how to transform that cluttered, messy box of old photos, you know the one I'm talking about, into a professional, permanent family archive. We're going to show you the exact system the pros use so your family's history can be preserved for generations to come.
So let me ask you a question. Have you ever done this? Named a file something like Grandma and Her Dog at the Beach JPG. If you're nodding right now, you are definitely not alone. I mean, it makes sense, it feels intuitive. But here's the thing. For anyone who's serious about building a lasting archive, this method is fundamentally broken. It just creates this messy, unsearchable digital shoebox that really doesn't stand the test of time.
So in this explainer, we're making a pretty critical shift. We are leaving behind that fragile, content-based way of doing things, and we're going to embrace a robust, location-based, professional standard. I know, that code on the right looks a little intimidating, but trust me, by the end of this, you'll see it's actually the key to everything.
Okay, so let's start by digging into exactly why the old way of naming files based on what they show is, well, it's pretty much obsolete. In fact, it's actively working against your goal of preserving anything.
Think about it. These old file names are just incredibly fragile. They have character limits, and worse, they can get totally mangled when you upload them to the cloud or some photo service. Plus, they can never ever hold the full story. You end up with what, dozens of files all just called Grandma? And that creates a digital mess that's basically impossible to sort through. So what's the solution here? It really requires a fundamental change in how we think about file names. Their job is not to tell you what the picture shows. Nope. Their only job is to tell you where the physical original is located. That's it. This right here, this is the single most crucial concept to get. Your file name becomes a permanent, unbreakable location indicator. It's like a library call number, but for your family's history. Just think of it as a signpost, not the story itself. And this is how that brilliant structure works. It's built from four simple, super logical parts, and it's directly inspired by professional archival standards. First up, you've got a unique prefix for your family archive. Second, a code for the type of media. Is it an album, a roll of film, what is it? Third, the specific number of that container. And fourth, the image number within that container. So when we look at our professional file name again, it suddenly makes perfect sense, right? It's not so scary now. KFA, that's the Klein Family Archive. AG07 tells us it's from a roll of 35mm loose film. Roll 01 means it's the first roll in that category, and IMG01 is the very first image that was captured from that roll. Instantly, you know exactly where its physical twin is sitting. Okay, but this leads to a pretty obvious question, right? If the file name is just a location code, where on earth do we put the story? Where do we write that this is Grandma with her dog at the beach back in 1965? And the answer is something called IPTC metadata. The easiest way to think of it is as a digital index card that's embedded directly inside the image file itself. It's basically the modern way of writing on the back of a photograph. But honestly, it's so much more powerful. See, unlike a fragile file name that can be so easily broken, this metadata travels with the image wherever it goes. It's completely searchable, so you can just type in Aunt Doris or Coventry and instantly find every single photo. This is where you write the full story, the who, what, when, and where. And you make sure it's never, ever lost.
Now, a professional file structure like this, well, it demands an equally professional capture technique. When you're using a high-resolution camera to digitize your family history, this is not about pointing and shooting. This is about absolute technical precision.
And I really want this next point to sink in because it is completely non-negotiable if you want museum-quality results. You cannot just eyeball your camera position. Even a tiny 1-degree mistake introduces a blur that no software on Earth can ever truly fix. When it comes to archival camera scanning, perfect alignment is everything. And this is what that precision looks like. A professional setup like this uses a copy stand to hold the camera, which makes sure the sensor is perfectly parallel to the media down below. That strict 90-degree angle, that's the secret sauce for getting the corner-to-corner sharpness you need for a true archival quality image. All right, let's close the loop. Let's see how all of this comes together to create that perfect cross-reference system between your digital files and your physical originals. This is where the magic happens. So, on your computer, every single image file is stored inside a folder that uses the exact same code as the media container. Simple as that. All the images from that first roll of 35mm film, they go right into a folder named KFA-AG07. AG07-Roll01. And then on the actual physical film sleeve, or the photo album or the box of slides, you just stick a printed label on it with the identical code, KFA-AG07-Roll01. It's one code in two places.
And just like that, you've created an unbreakable bridge. You can be looking at a digital file on your screen and instantly know which box on your shelf holds the original. Or you could pick up a physical album, look at the code, and immediately find its matching folder on your hard drive. It works perfectly, in both directions.
So let's just recap the key steps here. First, stop naming files based on what they show. Just stop. Second, start using a logical location-based system. Third, embed all your stories inside the file using IPTC metadata. And finally, ensure your capture process is technically precise. If you follow this professional method, you will absolutely elevate a cluttered collection into a searchable, permanent, and truly meaningful family legacy.
Now, we've covered the core philosophy here, but if you want to dive deeper into every single step and get into the real nitty-gritty, the source for this explainer, a post called Essential Archive Structure and Priorities on CameraDigitizeArchive.com, provides a complete, super comprehensive guide.
Ultimately, it really all comes down to this one question. Is your photo archive just a temporary collection, or is it actually built to last for generations? The choice between a fragile digital shoebox that just falls apart over time and a structured, searchable legacy that will inform and inspire your family for years to come, well, that choice is entirely yours.